posing. Say, I'm beautiful. I am beautiful. Hey, Gigi. It appears I can't film a YouTube video at home without the dog wanting to get involved, and she's right here. So she might be here, so I apologise if you can hear dog noise. Right on cue, dog noises throughout this video. Hello and welcome back. It's been a week break since my last video, purely for the fact that I had to film this and finish packing for a very exciting trip. So I thought this video could be my trip announcement / trip details of Disneyland California, which I am so excited to say. I booked this trip back at around the middle of January, so I have been keeping it a secret from my Instagram for about 3 months, and then I announced it, but I've not mentioned it really, bar maybe like 1 or 2 mentions in a Disneyland Paris vlog. So I thought this would be a good video to kind of give you the details, give you kind of the information, and if you do have any more questions, obviously put them in the comments below and I'll try and address them in a trip review or a later video, or just reply to the comment. But without further ado, let's get started. So me and my friend Sophie, who came with me to Walt Disney World last August, are going to California. This is our first trip to the West Coast. So obviously whenever we've done Walt Disney World, we've gone to Florida, and then I've also been to New York and Washington, but I've never done any of the other states and never even crossed the other side of America. So I'm very excited. It does mean an 11 and a half hour flight, which could be painful, but we move. I'll be fine, even if we are flying economy. We are flying with Virgin Atlantic, which I do find a little bit more comfortable in like previous experience. Plus the vibes are immaculate, and we're flying from Heathrow, which is I think the closest airport to where we live that flies international flights to America, so it should be super fun. Also, speaking on Heathrow, I think if we start at the beginning, so Soph and I are going to do a pre-travel day, drive down to the airport in the afternoon, because our flight's at 10:30 I think in the morning, which isn't super early, but because it's like a hour and a half, 2 hour drive to the airport, depending on traffic, and then obviously you need to be there 3 hours before, I really didn't fancy waking up at like 4 o'clock. So we're staying off at the Premier Inn Bath Road in Heathrow, which was recommended to us by Aid and Lisa. They stayed there a few times on their pre-travel day stays before Orlando. So we thought we'd stay there, seeing as we've heard good things. And for the 2 of us, it worked out at £68. It's non-refundable. You can't transfer the dates, I don't think, but we know when we're flying, so this worked out pretty well for us. And it should mean that instead of waking up at like 4 AM, we need to wake up at like 6:30, which is fine. I can handle 6:30. So yeah, we're flying from Heathrow, Terminal 3 with Virgin. I haven't booked the lounge this time, purely for the fact that we're staying overnight the night before. I just thought it doesn't really make much sense for us, because you kind of want to have enough time to enjoy the lounge, but we're going to try and aim to have as smooth check-in process as possible. We want to grab a couple of things from Boots that, you know, would normally fit in your carry-on. Do some shopping. Soph loves a bit of shopping in duty free, so we just thought this is the way that works best for us this time. If we had a later flight, I might consider the lounge, but I'm not really a breakfast person, so to sit and have breakfast at 8 AM that's gonna like be worth the cost just doesn't really appeal to me. But let's go on to the exciting things. So California. So we touched down around 3:30 in the afternoon on a Saturday. So we've decided not to book a taxi and not to hire a car. We're just going to use Uber and Lyft, depending on which one's cheaper. They are competing in America, so normally you can just compare between the two, to head to our first hotel, which is actually an Airbnb. I've stayed in an Airbnb before that was a shared accommodation in New York, and it was a novel experience staying with the host, but it was like pleasant one, and it was like a cost-effective way. We looked at the hotels in Hollywood and they were just super expensive or kind of too far away from what we wanted to do, whereas this one is right like a couple of blocks away from the Walk of Fame. I almost said the Walk of Shame. And the rest of kind of like the big icons within Hollywood, and it shouldn't be too expensive for us to go see the Hollywood sign if we want to. I know Soph wants to see that. Or when we go to Universal Studios Hollywood, it shouldn't be more than, I think we like tried to work out the price, about a $20 Uber, which isn't too bad, obviously because there's the two of us contributing. So that is our Saturday. I imagine it will just be a bit of like getting in. Obviously it's gonna be a long day from like 7 a.m. to what will be like 4, maybe 5 by the time we get out of the airport / to the hotel, the Airbnb, sorry. But yeah, it's gonna be long, and we're just planning on taking the first day really chill, maybe go see something if we want to. If not, we're just gonna head straight to bed / food so that we can chill, because on the Sunday we've got a full day at Universal Studios. Now I know obviously jet lag's meant to be quite bad when you've got those extra few hours, but we're hoping because we can get up early, get ready, get there for when the park opens, and then try and have a full day if we can, just because we don't have much time in California. We're only there for 7 full days, and then we have the travel day there and the travel day back. So this is kind of like a whistle-stop test drive the theme parks of California trip. Our first day at Universal Studios, we really want to see if we can get into Nintendo World, because obviously Super Nintendo World recently opened up in California and I've seen amazing things. Soph and I were massive Nintendo DS, Nintendo Wii kids. Like, we were very, very competitive at the likes of Mario Kart, so I'm super excited to manifest, well, not even manifest that, it is actually happening, as in take our virtual competitiveness into reality. That should be so fun. And we've seen great things from the Japan. We've seen great merch, the food, Toadstool Cafe. So I'm very excited to be able to experience that kind of, yeah, for the first time, and so close to opening. Like, we didn't even know that was going to be open by the time we were there when we booked it. I didn't really do much research into that side of things. We just kind of hope for the best, but it's open, it's running. I do know that it can be quite hard to get into some days, and obviously we're going a Sunday and a Monday, so fingers crossed we can get in. But I think that's just going to be our first mission when we arrive, is see if we can find a way to get ourselves in, if it is past reservations, but if not, I'm sure it'll be fine. Then on the Monday, we did buy our tickets with attractiontickets.com, obviously not Spawn, just that's where we bought them from. And they had a 2-day for the price of 1 Universal ticket deal. So we've bought 1 day and got 1 day free. So although we are meant to be moving down to Anaheim on the Monday, we've decided we're going to go spend the morning, early afternoon in Hollywood, in Universal Studios Hollywood. All things that go well. Obviously, if we have a really great day the first day and we're like, oh, just don't fancy that the second day, we're not going to, but we're going to head over there, do a few of the rides that maybe we didn't have time to do, / are our favourites and we want to do again. Then we're going to come back to the Airbnb, grab our bags, which they've kindly let us keep there, and then head down to Anaheim, which obviously is the home of Disneyland. So we're going to be spending the next 5 full days at Disney, which is so excited. I did obviously read how long people recommend there. 5 days was the most you could buy on UK websites that I found. We did consider booking direct through Disneyland, but it worked out either slightly cheaper or like the same price of it with attraction tickets, and they were super speedy. We literally got the ticket confirmation within a couple of hours, then we got the codes to link our passes, and I'd linked and reserved the days in the parks within 12 hours, if that. Like, it was all in the space of 1 afternoon / evening. Disneyland is going to be very exciting. I do know people say obviously you don't need 5 days, but we wanted to be able to experience it to the fullest, because I'd love to be able to do like a California road trip with a lot more destinations. So I was like, if I get my Disney fix this time, at least I'll know what I do and don't want to do next time I come. We're not staying at a Disneyland hotel. I honestly couldn't really work out how you book it. Whenever I was like looking, they were all always sold out, and from what I've heard, they are very expensive, and we tend to spend most of our days in the parks. We're not going to be really spending any pool time, not because of the weather, but more so because of the fact that we're there to go to Disney. So the hotel didn't really matter to us. We are staying at, I think it's called the Anaheim Astoria Inn. Let me have a look. Yes, so we're staying at the Anaheim Astoria Inn and Suites for 6 nights. Obviously 5 full days at Disney and then the night beforehand. I believe when I looked, it was like a 15-minute walk from the parks, or I imagine it will be like a 5-10 minute Uber, but there are transport buses that are dotted around the motels and hotels. So we literally picked this because it was one of the cheaper options but had clean rooms and it had a discount on at the time. So I believe we saved like 15 or 20%. I can't really remember why, but the total US price for 6 nights was $702 US, which I thought was pretty amazing. Like, that's just over $100 a night to be close to the parks. I mean, you can't really go wrong. A brief pit stop because Pippa heard someone outside, and so she's been sent to the sofa. So I hope she's not too distracting. I mean, she is pretty gorgeous, so I don't mind. So that's where we're staying. We have 1 dining reservation while we're at Disney. We did originally have 2. We had the Fantasmic dining package at Blue Bayou. Oh no, we have 2 dining reservations. So originally we had Pixar Lamplight Lounge, which I'm so excited for. I've heard incredible things. I'm such a Pixar fan and it looks beautiful and the food looks amazing. So I'm so excited to enjoy a cocktail in the Lamplight Lounge. And then we originally had the Blue Bayou dining package with Fantasmic and I was so excited. I've heard amazing things about the restaurant, the theming and Fantasmic. And because of my endometriosis, I find it really hard to stand and queue and wait for shows like this. And I know how popular Fantasmic can be, so we thought this is like the perfect option to experience the Blue Bayou restaurant, experience Fantasmic and not have to wait as long. Like, at least we know we've got like a set area to be. But unfortunately Fantasmic is currently not running. They had a fire incident with Maleficent. From what I saw, like, it was really well contained, like they did really well at managing the fire, but they're currently reviewing the process with obviously the fire animatronic because these things have happened before. Maleficent in the Festival of Fantasy Parade did catch fire like a few years ago, so I think they're just rethinking that, which is completely understandable. I'm gutted, but obviously safety comes first, and I know that cast member safety is like the main priority, not a dining package. So we did cancel our dining package and I instantly was able to rebook the exact same time. It's at like 3:45, so it's like a lunch period, to go to the Blue Bayou just as a restaurant itself. And I know that everyone says, oh, request a table by the river, so fingers crossed we get one, but I'm not in a major rush. I just want to experience it. And I think me and Sophie will have so much fun. And I want to try the gumbo just for Tiana. So that does seem super exciting. So that's our dining, that's our stay. Is there anything specific that I should say? I think that's it. So I'm almost finished packing. I am filming a little pack with me video that will kind of show some of my outfits that I'm planning on wearing, so stay tuned with that. Obviously they'll probably already be out by now on my Instagram in the majority, so if you want to follow me, my name is the same as on here. It's just gigi.peachy. And yeah, I can't wait. Oh my god, it seems crazy. Like, as I've been packing my case and like sorting out the last few bits, I've been like, I'm going to Disneyland California. It's somewhere that I never imagined going. Well, I definitely imagined going to, but I never imagined it would be turning into a reality this soon. But I also can't wait to take you guys along with me, because I'm going to have all of my memories of like my first time in California filmed, and in a place where hopefully YouTube is around for years and I can watch it back and be like, oh yeah. So when I'm hopefully doing my 5th visit to Disneyland California, I can be like, oh, what did I do on my first? If you do have any more questions about the trip, obviously, like I said, let me know in the comments below, let me know on my Instagram, and I will try and address them by either replying or, like I said, in a trip review, because I'm pretty much clueless apart from the things that I've booked. I know kind of what's at Disneyland, but I've avoided any ride POVs, I've avoided any ride spoilers from like the dark rides, because I just want to be able to experience it the first time, how I see my friends experience Disneyland Paris or Disney World when I take them for the first time. So that's going to be me, and I honestly just cannot wait. I can't believe I almost forgot. Okay, the thing I'm most excited for this whole trip, that I'm so excited to say, is that I'm going to Star Wars Night at Disneyland. Disneyland have been doing these like after dark nights. They did a Sweethearts Night, they did a Throwback Night, a Princess Night. The Princess Night looked incredible. And as soon as I heard that they were doing a Star Wars one, and it was going to be when I was there, because I am going to be there for May the 4th, I was like, I've got to book it. They did have one on the 2nd, which is the first day we arrive at Disney, but I was like, no, I want a couple of days to settle in, and then we're going to do Star Wars Night on Star Wars Day on May the 4th. I can't wait. I don't know too much details, so I will try and intro them on the day, so look out for that vlog, because I'm going to be an absolute excited wreck. But I can't believe it's happening. I can't believe that I'm going to meet, hopefully, new characters, see Batu West that I've never been, and just spend the whole evening drinking cold brew black calf to get me through. They give me that caffeine fix, having a boogie on the dance floor, and riding Rise of the Resistance without a long wait time. Honestly, if that's not worth the money, I don't know what is. So I think I've given you enough spoilers for my trip. The rest you'll have to just watch and see, because that's what I'm doing, waiting and seeing what happens. So you're not going to be able to obviously see the trip without subscribing. Well, I mean, you can, but why would you? So if you are very excited, feel free to drop a like and subscribe, and I shall be back at you very, very soon with my travel day video, which we all love to see. Thank you so much. Pippi, do you want to say goodbye? Hey, do you want to say goodbye? Do you want to come up? Hey. Oof. Hey, they're over here. Hey, can you see? Hey. She can't see. But thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you in California.